Hey guys, Mustang here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so, yep, it happened again. Here we are, mere days before Golden Week should be starting, and despite all the expectations, all the estimations, guesses, predictions from the various people throughout the community, still no news for Golden Week has been posted today. There's been a couple of insights from some people, including Rick, the data miner that we covered some info from yesterday, but certainly in a very odd situation. I think this has got to be, we've covered in some of these previous videos when we've been talking about the Golden Week stuff, like over the years we've talked about when exactly they've dropped teasers and when they've dropped the producer letter, like how many days before the celebration started, all that kind of counting and estimating and all that stuff. And we still are here today with no news having been posted whatsoever. So the general consensus or general reaction across the community is kind of summed up here in this tweet from Toon from earlier this morning. And the interesting thing is, actually, I wanted to talk about, there's a reply on here from Goresh. It's crazy that we're almost 10.5 years in and they don't let us know ahead of time when character announcements will be. And I hadn't really thought about this at all, really, until I saw this comment, because obviously I follow Goresh, because he does Dokkan stuff, but Goresh does a lot of Legends stuff, and some of the people that I follow, like Hydros and Slow Plays and stuff, he'll tweet about everything in every Dragon Ball game. A lot of people in the Dragon Ball community, I see people tweeting about Legends, and is it called, it's like reveals and stuff, I don't know if that's what it's always called, but Legends will make a point of like, hey, on this day at this time, like, we're posting an announcement for the new unit that's going to be coming out. And obviously there's the point Goresh is making here, like, we just never have any idea when any of this stuff is going on in Dokkan, which is kind of crazy. Like, I've been making content on this game for, what, 6-7 years at this point, and the fact that even I, like, over these last couple of days, like, I have no idea when they're going to post the announcements for the characters for Golden Week. And the crazy thing is, like, obviously we're almost at the weekend now. Golden Week will be starting at the beginning of next week, but we still don't actually know officially when the start date of Golden Week is. The Golden Week festival in Japan starts on the 29th, which was my original estimate because of the celebration itself in Japan starting then. But a lot of stuff in the game seems to point more towards it starting on Monday the 28th. So one of the things that we talked about in the video yesterday was this post from Rick, one of the data miner guys. The login bonus ends on the 28th, 27th in North America. So basically on the Sunday going into the Monday is when the daily login bonus for this current celebration ends. And as we talked about in the video yesterday, there's basically always a daily login bonus thing active, right? It's not really anything special. Like, it gets shown like this, right, in the celebration info whenever we get the celebration news. Log in every day to get Dragon Stones and awesome rewards. It's pretty much always just like a stone and some other stuff, unless it's a big celebration like the anniversary or the worldwide, where sometimes you get extra stones and maybe some other like better quality items. But this is basically part of like every single celebration. And this runs, as you can see here, end of like Sunday, early Monday for the UK or like EU time zones, which means realistically that's when we would expect Golden Week to start, because we don't usually ever have no login bonus active in the game. So we've already talked about the fact that data download should be either, well, if it wasn't this morning, right, it should be Thursday night going into Friday morning, since they'll have to do it before the next login bonus starts, and they don't usually do data downloads over the weekend. So for it to be end of Sunday going into Monday, the data download would have to be tomorrow. And obviously usually they post information the day before or 2 days before. The way it's been going for most releases is the Twitter full details of the unit come out, then the next day is the data download, and then the day after that the banners come out in the game. Now it's interesting to be at this point where we are essentially expecting the data download to be tomorrow morning. This video is going to go up at 3 PM UK time. The normal producer letter or data download time for JP is like 12 hours from now when this video comes out. And as of like time of recording, there's still absolutely no information about Golden Week whatsoever. Now, one thing that is interesting that I've seen a few people mention is the fact that, you know, there was that incident with the anniversary where the big data download for like part 1 of the anniversary somehow, and I don't know how they managed this, right? And the jokes were made at the time, right? Some intern on the Dokkan team probably lost their job over this, but AGL Gogeta and like his medals and his like character art thing were in the data download. So we immediately saw that like the part 2 Dokkan Fest was going to be Gogeta, right? And that was such a big deal that they've done something that they've never really done before, because obviously they know and have known for years that the community sees what's in the data download and talks about it, which is why they now, because in the past they've spoiled their own celebrations by having the data download before they've actually officially announced the units on Twitter and stuff like that. So now they always do the announcements before the data download because they know that the community will see them. However, here we are now expecting the data download to be, like I say, within like 12 hours, and we still have absolutely no information about the celebration whatsoever. So there's a couple of posts here. Now this one from Rick, again, this is today's post from Rick with a little bit more information on his thoughts on it. The data download must be tonight, right, as we've already discussed, unless the next login bonus was already set server side, which means the next, like the daily login bonus for Golden Week is already like set. But I'm not sure like how that works in terms of the files that we can see in the data download. Because we would potentially be able to see this already, or at least have some information about it, at least like the name of the like code, and therefore potentially like the name of the celebration. Not that that necessarily gives anything away, right? Because like this one for the time of year, right, it's just called In the Spring Breeze Cherry Blossom Dokkan like campaign, so that doesn't tell you anything about like the theme of the celebration or anything like that. But potentially that would be something we could already see. They'll set the next login bonus server side without the rest of the data download. Now obviously this is not something that they usually do, but it's not something that I have a huge amount of knowledge of for the technical side of it, so I don't know if this is something that, even if it's not something they don't usually do, it could be something that they possibly could do. So I guess that's an option. Or number 3, Amatsu wants me to be wrong and we don't have an active login bonus for the first time in years. And this is, as we said, right, the daily login bonus ends going into the 28th. We have not had no daily login bonus as part of a campaign active for a very long time. So it seems very unlikely that that would be the case, right? Now, Annie makes an interesting point. Says maybe because they all have next week off, right? Because Golden Week is all public holidays in Japan. They'll get someone to come in on Sunday to push out a data download. I don't know what else they could be doing that isn't stupid. Because this is the thing, right? As I said, they don't normally do data downloads over the weekend because the team don't work over the weekend. So if they push out a data download and it breaks the game, nobody's in office to fix it, right? And then it's emergency, people having to rush in from home, all this kind of stuff, right? So that's why they don't normally do data downloads when people aren't going to be there to make sure it goes across smoothly. And Rick says anything's possible at this point. I don't know what happened to their marketing after the anniversary. If they were going to wait till the last minute, they should have at least dropped a teaser by now. This is why leaks still happen. Do they just not care? Because as we've talked about in the last few weeks, right, we've had the last 2 major Dokkan Fests, the Goku for Saiyan Day and then Cell, leaked on Twitter, and of course people have been wondering whether that was going to happen again, like for Golden Week, and as of yet it has not. But obviously depending on what happens tomorrow, like I still don't know. I've mentioned it in the videos where I've covered the leaks, right? I don't know how like I seriously gets the information that he gets for these leaks for the upcoming units, but I could imagine if we don't get any news tomorrow, like, and he is aware of what it is, we could probably just end up seeing leaks tomorrow, because I think so many people will be so disappointed that we're still completely in the dark about the celebration. And he makes a good point here, right? I made a video yesterday about what a Daima Golden Week celebration could look like, and he says genuinely, if it's not Daima, this is one of the worst decisions ever to do minimal marketing on a major celebration. Only makes sense if it's Super Saiyan 4 Goku or something, and even then why not tease and build up hype to a reveal? I guess mini Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta with Shadow announced too, because yeah, Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta came out as the EX like anniversary Dokkan Fest, and I guess no one really expected him to be releasing in that time spot, especially to be announced like last minute like that, which was kind of cool. Obviously the unit was a bit disappointing, but like the way that was done was pretty cool to be like a surprise hype thing. But as Rick says, it makes more sense for Vegeta because that was a surprise EX part. Here, I don't know why they would wait like this, but if it's Daima, I guess they just want to do the same thing again. And that's the thing. It's like, I can see both sides of it, right? Like, if they announced that Golden Week was Daima and we were getting Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and it's like a last minute thing, it builds up that massive hype, like going right into the release. But then at the same time, stuff that is really hype, because I know a lot of people want to see Super Saiyan 4 Goku from Daima. So doing even just some kind of teaser, like, builds up that anticipation in the fan base, right? And then realistically, it means if it does get leaked, at least because they'd already posted their own sort of teasers, a lot of people would then, as they do with these cryptic hints that they post sometimes, like, people always manage to figure out what it means. And then the most popular interpretations get spread around on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. People like me make videos on them and talk about the theories and stuff. And that builds up that hype so that then even if it gets leaked, at least the community was kind of already on board because of the teasers that Dokkan had posted. But here we are now with absolutely zero idea what Golden Week is going to be, and it's going to start after the weekend. So definitely very interesting. I really don't know like what's going to happen now, because as I say, we should be expecting the data download like within 12 hours after this video goes up. And I guess they have done it in the past where they've just posted like the official tweets, like here's the units, here's what they do, and then boom, data download like at the exact same time. So we essentially see all the posts before we've even downloaded the data and had a chance to go through the files. But this isn't something they've done for a while. So is it a case of they are purposely holding this stuff back because they don't want it to get leaked, and it's because it's something hype like Daima? But yeah, it's just interesting. It all comes back to this like Goresh tweet, which, as I said, is not something I've really put a huge amount of thought into, but it is kind of crazy that, especially with the way Legends handles their communication, that the game has been going on for this long, like, and we still don't know exactly what's going on, right? Like I say, not only do we not know the theme of Golden Week, we don't know when the theme or the characters will be announced, and at this point we don't even actually know 100% when the celebration even starts, right? Like, this is our best guess, is that because this is where the daily login bonuses end, this is when the next celebration starts. But considering that's a couple of days away and there's still been no actual official confirmation, is kind of crazy. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Like I say, we should be hopefully getting the data download tomorrow, and then we'll be able to go over all the info. Golden Week is usually a pretty packed celebration in terms of the overall like amount of content. Usually with, you know, the banners have banner units, there's normally difficult content, so there should be quite a lot to do upcoming. But obviously for now we are still completely in the dark as to any sort of information, including when the celebration even begins. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know your #1 picks for who you want to see for the celebration, and hopefully we will actually have some proper news tomorrow, and I will go over any information we get, whether it's the official tweets, the data download. Obviously Proton, our boy, will put together one of those handy threads, and we'll go through all of the information as we get it. But yeah, I guess that's it for now. So again, the news for today is there is no news, and I guess really all we can hope is that the communication improves. I hope that it isn't like fallout from the Gogeta data download incident, because at the end of the day, like, it's their own fault. It's a mistake that they made, and as I say, they've known for years that the community looks at the data download information. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that as well. I've seen like comments on stuff like, if you've downloaded a game and then the game pushes out an update, you have every right to look in the folders, like in the files of that game that you've installed on your device. And if information is in there that's like, you know, this is what the next unit coming out is, like, you have every right to look at that because it's installed on your device. And that's why they started doing the reveals officially before the data download, because stuff would get spoiled, especially big things like anniversaries and stuff like that. They would put out a data download like hours before they made the official Twitter posts, and so then everybody already knew. So it just seems crazy to leave everything so last minute like this, but I guess we'll see. So let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.